So you've been looking at getting into trading, but when it comes to actually breaking down the markets, you have no idea where to start. Well, that's what I want to show you in today's episode of the Foundation to Freedom mentorship, is exactly how I go ahead and view different pairs, timeframes, and the charts in itself to break down what I'm looking at before I go ahead and enter a trade. So if you're interested in learning exactly how I break down the markets, stick around till the end of this video. So you want to understand exactly how I view the markets and how I perform all of my charting. Well, in order to do this, what we need first of all is an actual charting platform. Now, personally for myself, I use TradingView. This allows me to completely analyze the markets, have a watch list of different pairs, view all different time frames, and even look at my crypto portfolio from time to time. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get set up on that platform, how to view everything, and then how to go ahead and start using it to your advantage for analyzing day-to-day markets. So first of all, what charting platform do we actually use? Well, for myself, I use TradingView and I have the Essentials package on this because it allows me to also go ahead and complete all of my back testing on TradingView. So why not get the best of both worlds for very cheap every single month? And you can also get a $15 discount by using the link that's provided in the description below. So I'm just going to go ahead, pull up that link there so I see exactly the same things to you. As it says here, you landed on TradingView through a referral link. Join now and receive $15 as soon as you purchase your first subscription. So I personally recommend the Essentials package, and why not get a little discount when you're doing so. So go ahead, sign up to that platform using the discount, and once you've signed up to that, you want to go ahead and download the actual TradingView app itself. I recommend doing all of this on a desktop. Yes, you can use it on mobile, but it does get a little bit confusing. I do trading each day on my mobile when I'm out and around. However, setting it up and getting it to this stage was all done through a desktop. So once you've loaded up onto the charting platform, your charts are probably going to look a little different to mine. You're going to have a bunch more stuff on the right here. It's going to be real messy. You're going to have probably a volume indicator along the bottom, an EMA, and then it's just going to be all over the place. So first of all we want to do is just clean up the charts, because simple charts is simple analysis. So first of all you want to do is get rid of this watch list if it's up already. So just click that button in the top right corner, get rid of that, and then right click on here and select settings. Once you're on this point here, as you can see on symbols, it says body. Now if I change these colors, that's going to change the candlestick colors. So if by default they're in green and red, you can leave them as they are. If you want to change it to something different, go ahead, you've got free will. This is now your account. Once you've done that, head over to Canvas, and I recommend just using the white background. So again, if yours isn't set as a white background, you can go ahead and get that changed so your charts are nice and simple. White with red and then green as the colors for the candlesticks. Once that's done, select OK. As you can see, my charts are now looking nice and simple. You're still going to have the volume indicator, maybe a bunch of other like lines and graphs all over your chart. So to get rid of those, all you do is come to the top left corner here, and as you can see, there'll be a list of different things. So it might say EMA, it might say volume. Hover over that and select the bin icon. Just get rid of them in the beginning. Like, that's going to be the easiest thing that you can do, is just get rid of all of the indicators and then choose and select the ones that you find useful based on the analysis and based on the strategy that you're trading within the markets. Now I'm going to show you later on an indicator that I personally use to enter trades within the markets. It gives me the full idea, a stop loss and entry, a take profit, and it is a manually coded strategy that is then taken on autopilot for me. So I'm going to break down that later for you, so stay tuned to the end if you want to see how that works. But once we've got rid of all of the indicators and we have a nice, clean and simple looking chart, what we can then do is start analyzing the markets. So in order to do that, we need to understand what we're analyzing. Well, first of all, what you're going to have is a watch list. So if you go to the top right corner and you select this button here, it's going to pop up your watch list. Now you're probably going to have futures, indices, cryptos. You're going to have a bunch of different Forex pairs and tabs and sections going on, and it's just going to be all over the place. So let's go ahead and simplify that. Well, first of all, to simplify it, if you want to get rid of the sections, you select onto it and then you select this bin icon to the right here. That's going to then remove the entire section itself. So if I go ahead and bin crypto, all it does is gets rid of the crypto section. It still leaves the pairs there. So that's fine. We can go ahead and recreate that section. So in order to recreate a section, select a pair that you'd want to put into this specified section. So for example, plug and play pairs, and I have all of these pairs here. If I wanted to then section out crypto, I'd right click on it, I'd click add section, I'd then double click and I'd name it to crypto because that's what I want it to be. And then I can drag and drop any pairs underneath that as well. So if you want to move around pairs, add a pair, put a pair under a section, you can just simply drag and drop where you want it to be. Now, when it comes to actually analyzing and breaking down trades in the markets, what we need to understand is what we're viewing in terms of an asset. So as I mentioned, you can find crypto on here, you can find company stocks on here, you can find indices, futures, whatever it might be, you can find all of it on here. Now, for the Foundation to Freedom program that you're currently watching, we trade Forex. So I'm going to be teaching you how to break down and analyze Forex pairs. So if you want to add a Forex pair, all that you're going to want to do is select the plus icon here and then find the designated Forex pair. So for this, I'm gonna find GBP USD. So I search GBP USD, and now as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them here. So which one do you select for yourself? Like, how do you know from this entire list of all of the same GBP USDs, which one you should be selecting? Well, it's very simple. It's based on broker feed, okay? So for example, I have a Vantage Markets account. My live account is with Vantage Markets, so that's what I day trade. That is when I enter an actual position in the markets. That is the broker that I'm using to go ahead and do so. Now, by doing that, by entering trades on a Vantage feed, that means I should also break down and analyze all my trades on a Vantage feed. So all I'm going to do is add the Vantage Markets one. Now, if I was trading an FTMO prop firm, they operate on Oanda, so I'd select the Oanda broker feed. You know, if I was using an IC Markets account, which a lot of people use, again, I'd add an IC Market. So whatever it might be that you're using to actually enter trades on a broker, you're going to want to go ahead and find the feed here. If you're not currently set up with an account and you're just following along with this program video by video, simply just select the Vantage Markets feed, pop that up on your screen, and then you're going to be able to view everything that we do. When it then comes to setting up an account, you're already going to be standardized across your account and also your analysis platform. So select that and select the pair that you want. Now, as you can see, it's not in the manual trading Forex list that I've got up here. So where did that pair actually go? Well, it went right down the bottom here. So all I'm going to do is what I mentioned earlier. I'm going to drag and drop it. If you just hover at the top here, it's going to move you up. So I want to just move all the way up and then drop that into my manual trading pairs there. Now, if for some reason, let's say NZD USD and Euro USD were having a really bad month, I'd right click them and I could just flag them as red if I wanted to and be like, look, I'm aware that these pairs are struggling at the moment, so I'm just not going to trade them for the time being. And then if I wanted to go ahead and say like, look, we're having a great winning streak at the moment, go ahead, mark out a pair like that if you wanted to. But basically all I'm saying is you can right click and you can color code and you can flag symbols and tag them however you want, organize them in sections and drag and drop them around, do whatever you want to do. You can do that for yourself, but that's essentially how we add a pair. Now, once you've got a pair selected, you just pull up the watch list whenever you want to check a different pair and you just select it, and as you can see, it's then changing the actual broker feed in the background to be viewing and analyzing a different pair and a different asset each time. So I'll select Euro USD for the sake of this. Now, once we've actually got a pair pulled up on screen, we're going to want to view this on different time frames. Now, what are timeframes in itself? Well, timeframes essentially is the amount of data that you're seeing within that time period. So if I wanted each of these candles to display 5 minutes worth of price action, I would select the 5-minute time frame. If I wanted to see each of these candles across an hourly time frame, I could select the hourly, and then as you can see, there you go. Each one of these is 1 hour's worth of printed price action. So if I went on to the 4 hour, each one of these that is closed is essentially 4 1-hour candlesticks. So 4 of these put together makes one of those, and that's how we view the markets. Now, for everything that I do and for the strategies that I trade, I use the 5-minute time frame. So I've just got a quick tab favorites list of all the main time frames that I look at. In order to do that, click this right drop hand menu here that you can see next to the time frames themselves. Select that, and then you can add different intervals. So I've got minutes, I've got hours, days, etc. I can go ahead and favorite those. So if I want to favorite the 1 minute, I can just click this star here, add it to favorites. As you can see, I then have the 1 minute in a quick and easy access toolbar at the top. If I select that, here's the 1 minute time frame. 5 of these candlesticks makes up one of these 5-minute candles. So nice and simple. If I wanted to get rid of that, I'd simply select the drop down again and remove the star, and as you can see, it then removes it off of my favorites toolbar. So nice and simple way to go ahead and set up the markets that you want to go ahead and trade. So once that's done, we want to basically figure out what the rest of all of this means on the left hand side and all of this stuff at the top. Most of it you don't have to know, some of it is very useful to know. So first of all, we have the toolbar on the left hand side. This gives us different symbols and different things that we can use in the market. So for example, if I wanted just to write down that I'm awaiting a change of character because I've just got a nip to the gym or something and I forget what I'm doing with my strategy for some reason, I've got a note made on my platform so I can go ahead and use it. Very loose example, but I'm just giving you an idea of what this stuff is on the left. Now, if you want to actually use the useful ones, then you're going to find them within these sections. As you can see here, there's quite a bit, but we don't need to use it all, so don't get confused. The easiest thing to do is similar to what we did with the time frames and just create a favorites bar. So this is my favorites bar here, as you can see. So I've literally got a line that I use on a frequent basis. I've then got a vertical line that I use. I've then got my positions for a sell, positions for a buy, and I've also got my fib tool with configured settings as well. So all I do is actually pop up each of these tabs and I just find basically what I want to use. So if I want to use the trend line, I just favorite that. If I want to use the horizontal ray, I could favorite that. As you can see, then pops up the horizontal ray there. So it's very simple. You just favorite the tools that you want to use. As I say, I have the line, the trend line here selected. I've got the vertical line. I've then got short, long positions fib, and then I've just added the horizontal ray as well, and we'll leave that one on there. But essentially you can go through these, you can see what you want to use for yourself. If you wanted a circle for some reason to, you know, mark out points like this in the market and be like, this is a predominant high, you could go ahead, add that to your favorites bar and then use it. You don't always have to add it to your favorites to use it. If I just wanted to pop up something, you know, once in a blue moon and just use it for itself, I could do that. And as you can see, I now don't have a cool guy emoji in my favorites bar because I didn't favorite it. So yeah, you don't have to use them all is what I'm saying. You've then got a handy measuring tool down here. So if I hold control on my keyboard, it allows me essentially to go to the bottom of a candlestick or the top of a candlestick. What it does is it just locks on and snaps to a point. If I let go of control, I've got free roam. I can select wherever I want and just do what I'm doing. But for this, I want to use control because I want to measure a certain point. So if I wanted to measure the distance between this point to this point in pips, I could do so, and it's 39.6. Now you're going to understand what I mean by pips and movements and measuring stuff and all of that later on, but I'm just showing you the analysis platform and just not skipping out on anything, because so many people just skip out on the stuff that you might want to know. You know, you might want to know it, and if you don't want to know it, then skip forward 30 seconds and go and learn something else in a minute from me, which you do find useful. So once you've got all the tools selected and you know roughly what you're doing, obviously you're going to have a strategy that you're going to actually be viewing stuff in the market. So you're going to understand a little bit more about what we're looking at and why you've got, you know, a trend line, for example, configured, and then you've got templates set up and stuff like that. So anyway, you're going to understand all of that, so don't stress too much about, you know, just getting onto this analysis platform and having all of these tools that you have no idea how to use yet, because we're going to use them later on. What it's just important to do right now is just basically set up a baseline. So set up somewhere that you know you're going to start all of your trading from, all of your charting from, that you can use as just a base for your analysis, and that's what TradingView is going to provide us. So if you wanted to go ahead and set up an alert, for example, you wanted to wait until price broke below this point here in the markets, all you do is hover over that point and then select the plus icon and add an alert. Alternatively, you can go to that point, you can right click and you can add alert, and then you have a range of different settings here basically, so you can change the message. If you wanted to set this as like low broken, then when the alert came through, I'd see it as low broken. You can set expiration, whatever it might be, and then create that alert. And as you can see, I then have an alert there. If price crossed through that, it would basically just let me know that the low has been broke. So it's nice and simple. You can set up alerts, configure alerts whenever you need to use them. That's a nice feature within TradingView. Now what I wanted to also go into is just what a long and a short position are. So you can find those in this section here in the projection section, and they're the long and the short positions. Well, obviously a short position, which is this one here, is a sell position. So if I placed this at this point here and it then tagged me in and I had a stop loss there and a take profit down here, if price went to this level, it would take me out my trade. If it went to this level, it would take me out my trade with a profit. So this would take me out my trade with a loss, this one with a profit. And then vice versa, if I place a long position and I place it, let's say at that same point again, I placed a long position. What this would mean is if price came down to here, it would then take me out with a loss. If it came up to here and took me out, it would take me out with a take profit. As you can see on the right hand side in the column section, I have different level points. These are price points that I basically have set as stop loss, entry, take profit. So if I move this up, as you can see, that price label moves up. That is now my take profit level. this is a 1.06 risk to reward. A lot of these terms you may not understand right now, but don't stress. As I've said, we're going to get into all of that. But essentially, this is a short position and this is a long position. And this is what you would plot onto your charts when you're looking to actually go ahead and enter into a trade. So it's handy to know that those positions are available there to go ahead and place. And that's how we're going to be using the analysis platform once we found a trade idea. So let's pop up today's charts. If we found a trade idea like this one, for example, as you can see, once it's been analyzed, we then place a chart position. This is a long position, so if it goes to this level, it's a take profit, which in this case it did. It was a win for the day. If it went down to here and came out at this level, it would have been a stop loss and we would have lost for the day. Now, what did I actually just go ahead and pop up on screen to get this trade idea, to get this session here, and then to actually have all of this analysis done for me, so I'm not actually taking trades within the market for myself? Well, what I used was an indicator. All you simply want to do is go ahead and select this strategy indicator tab here. If you've been invited to the plug and play by us, then you can go to the invite only section. As you can see there, it says the Samurai by Menada effects. If I select it, it pops up the actual indicator in the background itself. As you can see here, here is the indicator. And then if I double click into it, I've got all the different settings that I can change for the indicator. And if I wanted to pull up any other indicators to go ahead and analyze the markets, I select into that. As you can see here, I've got technicals, I've got fundamentals, ones I've purchased, invite only, scripts I've also created, because you can write your own trading view scripts, but you can go ahead and pull up anything. So a lot of basic knowledge will be like session timing. So this is an Asian session here, which is the Tokyo and Sydney overlap in the markets to go ahead and form the Asian session. I've got this already coded into my charting, as you can see here, Tokyo, Sydney, and that's my overlap, midnight till 5 at the current point in time. If you wanted to see different sessions within the charts, you go onto indicators, you then go ahead and search. You could search for day sessions, and then you've got true day sessions, you've got sessions, full market sessions and days of the week, market sessions and candles. As you can see, you've got a whole load of different indicators that have either been created by individuals or created by the platform or a professional company itself. But essentially, if you want to get this indicator, as I say, you can find a link down in the description and I'll provide you some more information on how you can go ahead and start trading as a team with us, because we use this as our day trading model to enter the markets every single day. Now, once you've got all of that set up, that is basically the basics for TradingView. You load up the platform, you simplify how the platform looks, you go ahead, if you want to add any indicators, understand the symbols and favorites, get yourself onto different time frames and create a watch list of pairs that you can go ahead and start watching and also analyzing and breaking down as you're watching the Foundation to Freedom videos and developing your knowledge. So the more you learn, the more you're going to earn. The more you learn, the more you can now practice on the TradingView platform. So I hope this video has been informative. Every day when we post those screenshots of trades, this is the platform that we are using to go ahead and do it. So I hope to see you using this platform for yourself and letting me know what analysis that you're getting after watching the rest of the videos that are soon to come. So stick around for those and I will see you all in the next one.